A very common question that people have is, how do you make money in USANA? Chris Lopez here, and Jason Wells is sitting next to me. And the very first thing you need to understand in making money with USANA is that you have to build a customer base first. And when we say customer, we actually mean a real customer, someone who's buying the product because they actually enjoy the product and get benefit out of there. They're not joining the company necessarily. So the first thing we have people do is get 20 customers. And that's going to roughly translate into about $400 in recurring income every single month. Now you might look at that and say, you know what, that's not a whole lot of money. I'm not going to quit my job at $400 a month. And no, you won't. But it's your first milestone. And let's put this in perspective, because this is where a lot of times people miss the power of residual or recurring income with USANA. Is it easier to get 20 customers or put $96,000 in the bank? Now, we came up with the figure $96,000 because if you had that in the bank at 5%, you'd be earning roughly about $400 a month in income, which is the same thing you would be earning if you had 20 customers.
So now let's get into more money. This is where things start to get interesting and where you start making money. If you train 4 people how to do what you just did, which is get 20 customers, that would be 80 customers total. So when you add your 20 customers and the 80 customers with your 4 people with 20 customers, that comes out to $2,000 every month. Now, again, for most people, this isn't going to get you out of your job or replace your current income, but we still like to put it in perspective. So let's say you have your 100 customers. What does that equal in the bank? Well, and by the way, assuming you get 5% in the bank, I don't know anyone who's getting 5%, at least in the United States, but let's say you are, or maybe you have a bond or something like that, you'd have to have $480,000 in the bank. So what I often say to people to put the power of leveraged income into perspective is, which is harder? Finding 100 customers, which is really you getting 20 customers and teaching 4 people to do the same thing, which is what USANA and network marketing is all about, is duplication. I ask which one is harder, and most people say, well, geez, it'd be a lot harder to save almost $500,000. So now this is where we get into where the people in USANA who are making full-time incomes. And, you know, full-time income obviously can vary from person to person, but this shows some real strong income and some real strong numbers and covers most of the population as far as what they make on a monthly basis. And I say most of the population because it covers most people that make a really good income in their jobs, and it covers people that maybe make less. So they're actually doing better than what they did in their jobs. How do we do that? Well, let's take the model where the former organization we just discussed, where you have 20 customers and you have 4 people who have 20 customers. So you have a total organization of 100. Now let's say you start really growing your business and you actually have 4 people like that. You have 4 people who have gotten 20 customers, who have taught 4 people to get 20 customers. And you have 4 people spread in your organization with 100 customers with a total of 400 customers. That would equate in an income of $9,200 every single month. Now again, this is not like the income of a lifetime, but this is a solid income that most people would be proud of. And so when you look at this, you look at how much income 400 customers would be, and how much money you would have to have in a bank or in bonds at 5%. You'd have to have $2.2 million in a bank or in bonds paying 5% in order to make that kind of money. And again, I ask people, what would be harder? The scenario I just discussed or saving $2.2 million? Most people say, well, geez, that's really the kind of money you save in a lifetime through retirement, investing, and that sort of thing. So you can see here, this can be a very reasonable thing to do. And what I want you to understand is, let's say it takes you 3 to 5 years to get to this point. I can tell you most people can't save this kind of money and put it in the bank, so they develop that residual leverage income on a monthly basis. $2.2 million, I don't know very many people that can do that in 3 to 5 years. So I'm just trying to give you this example so you can see how powerful it is when you have people who fall in love with the product, who use the product and use it month in and month out, and what that can do for you.
So for more videos, you can go to www.integrisgroupfounders.com. This is a website that Jason and I own, and there's more videos on there that will answer common questions on how do you actually get customers, how do you build a team, and more things like that.
Now, real quick, this video is purely hypothetical. It's real. All this stuff happens in our organization every day. But understand, we're trying to give you an example of how things go and what we strive for as far as customers, and giving you step-by-step milestones. Now understand, all the dollar figures we're discussing here are based on customers ordering about 100 points. Now you might be going, 100 points? I don't understand that. Well, understand that USANA is an international company. And to give you dollar figures, it wouldn't make sense to somebody, say, in the Philippines or Australia or Canada. Every country is different because of exchange rates. So when we say points, we're giving what an average person would order in points on a monthly basis. Now, if you want to understand what that is in your country, you can go to usana.com, click on products, and you can figure out what the point values are in your country.